picture, but I saw it.
We are trying to find people. Hello. We're going to Valentine, hoping we can find somebody. If we don't, we'll go to Strawberry. If we don't, we'll go to Blackwater. Not work so much as just other members of the medical department. Still got a ways to go. Yeah, it's less that I'm trying to find work and more that I need to be near a fellow member of the department. Because I'm not really allowed to like work on stuff without. Yeah, there's one for sure. Though if I can't find him, I might just get off. Because I know there'll be stuff tomorrow. I just definitely, I need to do concussion stuff and a broken bone. Or the, you just started watching. I'll stream something else. I'll hiccup my stream and play maybe Pacific Drive if I can't find him. Well, there's nobody at the sheriff's department. This is, yep, locked. Good. Well, we're gonna go to Strawberry. I know there's people on. I ran into Gideon Michael Graves 3 or 4 times earlier. Even though, well, he's Gideon Graves. There's not actually a Michael there, but there's 153 of 192 on, so. Howdy, friends. Why are you glad I have the lantern? If I didn't have it, it'd be better to... easier to see. Oh, so you can see. I don't know. It's probably a little harder, but... There's somebody like right behind me. Sammy, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Oh, and a raid. Yay. Thank you, my friends. No telegrams. We are currently trying to figure out where the heck the one other member of the medical department is, so that we can do some training. Well, there's a horse right there. And the door's open. Yep, found him. Classic. Woohoo!
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Stop eating that thing.
Okay, yeah. Sorry for the smell inside. It smelled pretty bad in there. Like rotten
Ooh.
egg, sorry.
What is that?
It's just the cusp of death.
I see.
Yeah. Okay, I was actually going to telegram you when those people ate poison.
All right.
Oh.
Thank you.
Is that what
for
it
your
was? I
assistance.
see.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
Yeah, y'all have a good one.
You too.
I
Travel
gotta throw
safe.
up my dinner.
Okay. Well, I guess I don't have to telegram you anymore.
No,
I'm
you
here.
do not. How are you, Mason?
Doing well. How are you?
Well, not bad. Had a nice racing ride to Valentine from San Denis, from Valentine to here.
That's good to hear. No trouble on the way or anything?
No, none whatsoever. Valentine's actually fairly dead at the moment. I was a bit surprised.
Yeah, well, some people are saying strawberries becoming the new Valentine.
Oh. You know, there's less schmud, so that's maybe a good thing.
plus. Yeah. No, it's just... I think a lot of criminals are hiding up tall trees. And you got the folks at
I see.
Pronghorn, which everyone tries to bully.
I was there on Abdul in Valentine for a little bit. I didn't know that he'd thrown people out of the saloon.
Do you have any questions for me?
Not particularly. I'm
Okay.
trying to hopefully get concussions and broken bones. I think Veronica said I was missing. So.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know that I have any particular questions. So much as let's just see what happens, I suppose.
Yeah, let me see. Yeah, I'm assuming you're at the point where it's mostly just practicals you need.
I think so. I don't. I'm not sure. Whatever the paperwork there says, I suppose. You are Big Jeb. Well done. Good job killing Valentine. Welcome in, Sammy. Appreciate you. Glad to have you. I have two characters. This is Moody.
Okay, you may have
Is-
already done these topics, but they're not checked off.
He's a trainee with the Saints Crossing Department of Health. And I also
Wait, we
play
did-
Abdul Qadir.
We did common emergency treatments, right?
Did we?
We might not have. I'll quickly go through it. It's basically were you the one who also did the field medic training?
I'm not officially, I don't think.
All right.
I'm of a mind to do both medic and nursing type things, so I can sort of slip between the two as
Oh.
needed. But
Yeah. Oh no, field medics. So civilians and basically anyone who passes a background check, and rangers and deputies also take this class. A lot of people call it triage. It's basically just take care. Well, you don't really take care of everything, but pack wounds, make sure they're safe to travel, and what to do in certain situations.
sure, there's one of those. Well, I should say there's three of those tomorrow. Is there not? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
most
started
of
with
this
Moody
knowledge basically
and just
watered down
felt out the crossing,
medic knowledge.
and then
So
I made
it's not
Abdul
like it's,
with the intent of
it
sort
might
of
be
feeling
good
out
to
criminal
attend one of
stuff,
them, but
and he took off
it's
very
not really
similar to
pertinent
how
for
Big
you
Jeb
to
did for
do
you.
that, because your other training basically already covers it.
No, sure. Dr. McNamara says it is interesting nonetheless. But I suppose if it's mostly packing wounds and so forth.
Oh yeah. And if you are free tomorrow, the classes are
Yep.
3 p.m., 7 p.m., and 11.
I was planning, yes. At least the 3 p.m. and possibly the 11 as well. Maybe the 7 in
Okay.
between, just sort of depends.
Yeah, well, right now, we're kind of screwed on it, but I think it might actually be me and True running all the classes that day.
Oh,
Yeah, I know Fletcher's running the first one at 3. I should be taking over the second one at 7. And then I think he's planning on doing the one at 11 again. But, alright, so, but basically this section, there's a decent chunk of what the field medic thing is. This is for common emergency treatments. First up, this one doesn't happen too often. I mean, it does, especially if you're out west. But sun exposure, or
Right.
heat stroke, whatever you want to call it.
got a hobo character.
Some of the symptoms pretty easy. Dehydration,
That's
cracked
great.
lips, or massive sunburn.
Right.
Pretty simple. It's treated by one. This isn't a step we really do, but get them to shade. Usually by the time we deal with them, they're already in shade. Giving them small amounts of water. And the key is small.
Right, I imagine this is something similar to the hyper or hypothermia. If you work too fast, you can put them into shock or something.
Mhm. Yep, it's that exact same thing. Now, if they are severely dehydrated, you can set up an IV.
Sure. That makes sense.
And then we have aloe vera to treat any sunburns. And yeah, that's basically all you need to remember is try to cool them off, don't do it fast.
Right.
You could have them try to remove some clothing. I wouldn't submerge them in water or anything. I would probably just throw them into shock, but...
Sure.
Okay, then next up we have cold exposure. This is the one, at least with me, I deal with a lot. Basically, your symptoms are frostbite, blackened tissue, usually a sign of necrosis.
Mm-hmm. Similar
which-
to Silas's toes.
Yeah,
Hi, poet.
which at that point, yeah, the only option is really amputation.
Right.
And then shivering. And again, key is to slowly warm them up. So one, get them inside, get them near a fire, not too close. Blankets, warm water bottles, not boiling warm, but just kind of slightly above temperature warm. And then ease to drink if it's accessible. And if there is signs of necrosis, which I do believe as a nurse, it's kind of one of the things you need to learn, which, well, you already have a practical on it, right? Because you did Cameron's toes.
You
Right.
mean Silas?
Weren't you up there with the sheriffs that were caught out in the cold?
No, I was
Oh.
not. I was here when Silas came in with was it Keziah? I think. So I did help warm her up, and
Okay.
I've seen I saw Silas's toes before they were removed. There we go.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and basically, yeah, you want to cut away all the dead skin.
right.
You want to try not cut away any living skin. And then basically give yourself enough living skin to kind of close up the wound. And that's basically it for cold exposure.
Good to know.
Water exposure, honestly, it's the same thing as cold exposure, except you have the fear of water in the lungs. Or any, really, actually, no, yeah, water in the lungs. Or in some cases, if someone's shot, you can have blood in the lungs as well. The symptoms of water exposure: breathing difficulties, cold, wet, shivering. Same warming up techniques.
And I assume listening helps for potential water in the lungs.
Yeah. And depending on the levels, so if you hear a bit of like gurgling or slight difficulties, you can try to put them in the recovery position. It's basically on their side, their head out horizontal. Prop them up so they won't roll over with moving their arm out in front of them and one of their legs behind them. And then
Of course.
that should open up the airways and just make sure that anything can kind of just flow out on its own. If it is a bit more serious, between the third and fourth rib, you can insert a needle and then drain the lungs that way.
Right, that I have done, well, with blood, actually.
Mm-hmm. And then we have the one, evaluating for concussions.
Yep, I have not technically done that yet.
Yeah. Some of the signs to look for: recent loss of consciousness, eyes not dilating as expected. You can do this with like a mirror and light or a lantern. Just make sure if the pupils are dilating normally or if they're slow or not responding. A soft or a soft swollen lump or bump on the head. A soft lump usually is an indication of liquid buildup and not swelling. So in particular cases, you really want to prefer a hard bump.
Right.
If there is too much fluid building up within the skull and too much pressure, there could be fluid coming out of the ears and nose. So check for that. Patient might feel pressure behind the eyes. And then you got dizziness and vomiting.
Vomiting.
And then honestly, the big one is confusion and memory loss. So most of the times when I'm treating patients, I just kind of continually talk to them, trying to get a gauge if they're, just acting normally. Can they follow
Right.
simple commands? All that.
Do you
fun
know where
stuff.
you are, etc.?
Mm-hmm. And then yeah, the key for concussions, there's not much we can do. We're basically just fighting the swelling, which you can try to give them. I think we want to try to avoid aspirin, but you can use a cold compress wrap around the head, just kind of calm the swelling a little bit. If the pressure is bad, there is something we can do that's called a shunt procedure, but that's kind of worst case scenario. And then just make sure that they don't go to sleep when it's not bedtime.
Alrighty.
And the last one is diagnosing and treating infection.
Well, that'll smell funny, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'd usually see yellow, green, pus or fluid coming from the wound. And you already called it, bad smells would also be coming from the wound. Red, swollen irritation. And they could be having a fever or high temperatures, or vomiting. And then this is treated by one, cleaning the wound, which involves removing, if there is stitching, removing the old stitching and replacing it with horsehair.
Specifically horsehair.
Yeah, horsehair is the most sterile of the suture material. It is the strongest, however, that was the concern, that if the patient is rowdy, horsehair is a lot less likely to break, so
Right.
more than likely the skin will break. Use a syringe to drain any pus around the wound. Feverfew and phenacetin to try to treat the fever. And then the good old IV.
Right. Of
Any
course.
questions? And that's it basically for topic.
Is there anything to putting honey on the infected wound? I don't know if it's an old wives' tale or just something my wife learned in medical school. She said something about having read somewhere that the Egyptians actually used to do it.
It probably does good. I know the salve I typically use is honey and marigold.
Right. I've seen it used. I'm still trying to learn exactly when to use it.
Oh, well, salves, you almost always, if they're stitching, you rub the salve around the stitching,
Right.
and then you wrap it just to kind of keep a kind of protective layer there. But marigold usually does the infection fighting. But I'm sure honey has a use in there as well.
Right. Right.
Okay, let's check this tip line.
Let's see if there is anything.
Absolutely nothing.
Which is sometimes how we like to see it.
Mm. Okay, you ready for another topic?
Sure.
All right, this one's pretty straightforward and simple. It's just reviving patients.
Well, there's
Basically-
I think 2 possibilities. If they're unconscious and we can try quercetin, I believe. And then if necessary, you can try smelling salts. Although I'm trying to remember which doctor it was. It was either McNamara or Fletcher. One of the two said break it farther away and just sort of waft it to them so they don't wake up suddenly and potentially undo stitching that you've already finished.
Yeah.
So I know those 2 already.
Well, quercetin's just for kind of shock and onboarding.
Right.
So almost all the time you'll onboard quercetin. This is more critical. So obviously when you're treating a patient, you always want to be kind of checking the vitals or maintaining some kind of watchful eye over them.
Right.
If there ever is, if you cannot detect pulse, that's basically all you can do.
Right. Right.
There ain't
There's
much.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nothing at all, I believe. Yeah.
So you just, unfortunately, yeah, you just have to stop right there.
Yep.
You can check it again just to confirm. Maybe move to a different location, like you did the neck, and move to the wrist, or vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
However,
The no pulse rule.
if you can detect any semblance of a pulse, continue treatment. And some of the things
Right.
that we need to look for are the important one, and this is stressed in that field medic training, but is breathing.
Of course.
So, well,
The airwaves.
yeah. So if they're not breathing, but there is a pulse, kind of try to figure out what is causing the breathing issue. Is it the injury itself? Is there something obstructing the airway?
Right.
Were they strangled? Perhaps kind of a crushed windpipe, or some trauma or damage into the lungs.
What do we do if the the windpipe is crushed. 'Cause there was I think it was you and I that one time we went to, was it Blackwater, and the fella had been maybe a little bit. We were worried he'd had some strangulation, but who was that? Did you just hear a knock?
Probably a raccoon or something.
Oh, interesting. There was I think you rubbed some like mint ointment on this chest. What do we do for collapsed windpipe? Somebody definitely knocked on the window. That's funny.
And I would probably consult a specialist on this. Basically, all you can really do is kind of try to force a pipe down the throat and kind of create an opening. I do believe McNamara said there's a thing called a tracheotomy or something like that. But it's honestly, at that point, it's very dangerous to do, so it's not likely we'll ever really do that. Another thing you could do, as we kind of said with the emergency treatments, is place them in the recovery position. That's probably not going to help too much with the collapsed airway,
but it could. Who knows?
But I would try asking the different doctors, and if you're ever in that situation, I would just try to refer to a specialist.
Right. All right. This makes sense.
And an important note: compressions and life breaths are not to be performed. Compressions, the main reason is that's not even to do with breathing. That's to kind of massage the heart and get that pumping again.
Right. And we have other things for that.
Yeah. Okay, and then the next one is erratic or fading heart rate. This one's pretty straightforward. Assess for what injuries are causing it. More than likely, they're bleeding out.
Sure, in which case we want to try and close the wound before doing much else, unless we can get a hold of somebody to do a blood transfusion, I would guess. Veronica and I dealt with a lady who'd been shot with a shotgun the other night, so there was a bit of that with us trying to close up the wound while also hoping to get Victor here from wherever he was.
Yeah.
Not
And
here,
that's all
but
you really
you
can
understand.
do.
Right.
Yeah. Inject a full dose of quercetin.
Right.
Because usually if
for the shock and so forth.
If pulse is erratic, yeah, probably the body's going into shock.
Mm-hmm.
And if their heart rate...
Their heart rate?
Actually, no, this one doesn't make sense. Well, I guess if their heart rate's dangerously high, I would give them a dose of phenacetin. I'm sorry, this paperwork here says morphine, but morphine increases the heart rate, so that's honestly the worst thing you can do. I don't know why it says that.
Does it? I thought I'd heard differently.
No, yeah, morphine increases the heart rate. Which you would think otherwise, but you would think it slows it, which I think that's what the mistake someone made here is. Okay, and then there's a fading pulse. It's the same thing. Don't even know why it's a difference, but assess what injury's causing it, and then inject with quercetin.
Right.
And that's basically it. Main point to take away is there's not much we can do out here actually in the frontier, so once you detect brain a pulse, there's nothing we can really do.
Sure, sure. Feeling lightheaded. No, it slows
Right,
the heart
and
rate.
good news and bad news. I think that's most of all your knowledge ones.
So it's
the
just
rest are
practicals
just-
at that point. That's good, I would say. I mean, it's just being around and hopefully getting to the practicals.
Yeah. And like I said, the pulls aren't really needed.
Right.
There's still nothing on the plan, but let's check what this knock was.
Yeah, I don't know. I looked online too, and I don't think that's right.
Evening.
Why are you unhitched again?
Whoa.
Oh, calm down. Oh, well, I don't... Oh, howdy.
Howdy.
Deputy Jones, have you ran into a Duncan as of the past 5 or 10 minutes?
No, but somebody knocked on the back of that door.
Yep, knocked on the
Probably
window.
about 5-10 minutes ago.
Oh, okay.
But we were in the middle of training, so I don't know. I'm
Oh,
assuming they went
gotcha.
out that way.
Okay.
But we didn't see anybody.
All right. Just figured I'd ask. I appreciate it.
Sure, sure. Howdy.
Just want to warn y'all, be careful. There's a group of 4 people robbing people out just outside of town.
All right, thank
Good
you.
to know. Perhaps we stay put then.
Yeah.
Not very friendly of them, nope.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I have like multiple places I have morphine slows the heart rate. Yeah. Can slow the blood. Right there. Does the paperwork in there have who went over certain things with somebody else? Because whoever went over pain management with me and talked about morphine did say that it slows the blood rather than speeding up the heart rate. I've got it here in my notes. Make him double think it.
It should have been me.
I'm fairly certain I heard it at least twice, maybe from 2 different people. Maybe Dr. McNamara went over it at one point, and then you reinforced it later.
All right. But yeah, it raises the heart rate. which because it raises the heart rate, it causes more bleeding.
I don't know, dude.
So yeah, I would make note of that.
Well, I know strawberry extract does.
Yeah, strawberry extract raises the pulse. So honestly, when using strawberry extract, I wait until most of the wounds are closed up.
Of course.
Or if they're dangerously low pulse, then I'll use it.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not changing what I
Phenacetin
have.
can cause a slight lowering of the pulse.
Oh, gotcha. Could be good, maybe not, but. Oh, there's something. She's over by the Rangers. I heard more knocking, I thought. The lady standing there with the coffee. That's funny. I saw her move over.
Go find him, Dr. Scratus.
I did think maybe I saw somebody running over towards. Is it the ranger office that's over there?
Yeah.
Maybe connected, maybe not connected. I don't know.
Hello.
Howdy. Oh, you're a big boy. Yeah, I know.
Sir, there's a cat there.
I think he got the picture. Hey there, buddy.
Yeah. Lance just sent in a tip as well. 4 people robbing people between here and Blackwater.
Oh, right. Definitely should avoid that then, I suppose.
Yeah. Good news was she used the excuse, oh, I'm a nurse, and so they didn't rob her, so. Yeah.
Very good. I don't know if I met Blanche yet.
Oh, yeah, she's real nice. She's another nurse.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I worked with her a lot. She's part of the Cassidy family.
Oh, gotcha.
Well, she's an honorary member of the Cassidy family. She ain't actually Cassidy.
I see.
Oh, yeah, she might be stopping by here. And then, yeah, I'm trying to think of, trying to think who else is a nurse. There's Nurse Vivian Kane, but she's mostly in Saint Denis, and she does a lot of the blood work that we do.
Right. Is Veronica a nurse?
No, I think Dames is just a medic.
She said she mostly deals with end of life sort of care. When Whitmore asked her about it the other night.
Maybe
I think-
she is.
I think he plans to do optometry, take some of the burden off of the one other person that apparently does that in the department.
Yeah, Dr. Bella. Yeah. At least, and this information could be outdated, technically speaking, Veronica is just a medic. Or I don't want to say just a medic, but the other nurse is Riley Cameron, but I haven't seen him out and about too much recently.
I see.
Yeah, and besides that, it's just Blanche and Vivian. Which, Vivian, she does occasionally leave Saint Denis, but she's almost always just kind of tucked in the back office.
Right.
Has anyone ever gone over the mentor thing with you?
Not exactly. No, I've heard it mentioned. I think Dr. McNamara was maybe gonna mentor, but he said that he would be willing to do it differently if, say, Fletcher or somebody else was around more.
Mm.
I didn't
No,
really say too much beyond that.
Okay. So yeah, he did actually mark you down. Basically, all it really, it's just, you don't, oh, this is hard to say. Your mentor is basically just like someone that, kind of like what Connor was telling you, it's someone you usually see a lot who's a senior.
Right.
You can just ask guiding questions. They'll check in
Sure,
from time
sure.
to time. Hopefully set you on like the right path, or be able to answer any kind of harder questions. But we're all here together anyways, so the mentor thing is more of a just making sure you have a senior to check in with.
Right. Who are all the seniors, by the way? I know McNamara and Fletcher.
Yeah, so there's Dr. Bellatrix,
Right, Dr. Trix, sure.
Dr.
her.
Margot,
Okay, yep, I know of him. He's taken stitches out of me in the past.
then you got Fletcher,
Right.
and then medic Birdie White.
Right.
She's usually an early
Yep.
riser.
Miss Birdie actually created part of my citizen file when I first got to the crossing.
Yeah. But, and yeah, right now those are the main, I believe that's all the seniors.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, so there's not really a lot of them. Or I guess technically, we do have a deputy director, Fallon Foster.
Right.
She is around from time to time. She usually wears like some kind of turquoise.
Okay.
She was around earlier today, but yeah, she's more of a, I think actually she's been sick recently, so
I'm trying to figure out where that cat went.
she usually is up and around Valentine.
Let's see. So are you eavesdropping there, sir? a fellow literally right below us smoking a cigarette.
I mean, sir, this conversation ain't really exciting.
No, I suppose not.
It's like, who's in the medic department? I think most of this is public knowledge anyways. Yeah, sir, just read a damn newspaper. And you know what? And no, sir, you're not invited, and I'm not telling you the location. I think this is a couple months out, but I guess Fletcher is planning an interdepartmental ball.
Oh, a ball.
Yeah.
Does
So-
interdepartmental mean just us, or
No,
inter
it means,
as in rangers and law and transit and so forth?
yeah, it means everybody.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, I
Very
think
interesting.
last. We don't really do them monthly, but in this case, it kind of is. We just had a interdepartmental barbecue out at I believe it's called like Two Moons Ranch. It's the ranch on the way to Cumberland. That was pretty fun. Which I think Bella hosts that one. And then we usually have medic outings like every month. Okay, let's check this tip line. Alright, nothing really exciting.
Sometimes that's how we prefer it. So is Sloan ever about? That's the person whose telegram number I got initially.
Yeah, they're the director, so
Right.
I don't think I've ever seen them about.
They must have big important things that they probably have to do.
I mean,
I'd
honestly,
imagine.
they probably travel all over the place. So technically,
right.
the person you'd most likely run into that's like top of the list is Fallon. Which she's the deputy director, so it goes
Gotcha.
Sloan, Fallon, then the seniors, and then everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
And then how comfortable are you with your knowledge of what we learned so far?
I would say fairly, with the exception maybe of poisons. I'm gonna need a refresher on that with Dr. Whitmore not around to take over and talk about all the things that he knows.
Yeah.
It's good to have a fellow that does know a lot, but it's not real helpful when you don't.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we can kind of re-go over it again. Do you want to do you want me to just say things and, like, you try to answer them, or?
Sure, if you like. The most I have at the moment is figure out what the snake was that bit you, and don't move it. Don't move the patient too much because it'll move the venom around. Don't wash the wound, and certainly don't ingest it because then you got two people who are poisoned.
That's like the big one yet. Don't suck out the venom.
And then I have there's two types of snake bites. One of them had to do with the blood, and the other one had to do with the brain, maybe.
Yeah.
And then we use charcoal, and I don't really know how to spell it, so I'm not sure how to pronounce it. But ipatine, something along those lines.
It's like now you said it wrong. I don't know if I can say it. Ipecac.
Well, Ipecac. Maybe you could spell it for me.
To be honest, I don't even know how you spell it.
Yeah,
I think it's
that's
like
fine then.
IPUC. Ipecac. I just know there ain't a T in it.
There's no T in it.
Yeah.
All right, and then pump the stomach is a last resort if it's been ingested. But it's much more preferable to induce vomiting somehow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which
there's-
maybe that's all I
makes
need, but that's about what I've got at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's when you boil down to it, it's kind of simple. If they ingested it recently, yeah, try to induce vomiting.
Right.
There's different herbal mixes, which Ipecac, that one's kind of a strong one. Which we had a case where someone was poisoned with nightshade, which that's when we used it, and luckily Dr. Bella ran into me when I was dealing with that. She's the one who pulled out the Ipecac, but we don't have a large supply of that. It's kind of, if you're dealing with something is completely deadly, that's when you'd probably go for the Ipecac. Otherwise, I think there's like a chamomile. If you eat a small amount of it, it'll make you throw up.
Sure.
And then charcoal mix or charcoal pills given orally. And then quercetin, because usually when poisons are starting to just shut down the body, so quercetin's good at counteracting it.
Right, an anti-shock.
Mm-hmm. And then, if the poisoning has been by an injection or an IV, basically you want to do an IV to try to flush out the system. And then a dose of quercetin. And then basically, and this goes for almost all the three categories of ingestion, snakebite, or injection. Try to manage all the symptoms that are starting to pop up. Main ones are probably going to be like fevers, sweating.
If it's raw, maybe not if it's tea.
Muscle spasms,
Mm-hmm.
and the such. I mean, it'll probably be helpful, but I don't think it really matters about what Whitmore was saying about the blood and the other thing. Currently,
It's
the only
currently
places where we
unclear whether
currently have
chamomile is
antivenom
actually effective in treating any
are
medical
Saint
conditions.
Denis, and then we can also get in some to Blackwater via boat. However, we are planning on creating
Thank you for the follow,
an extension
bloopers.
to the Armadillo office to store more anti-venom out west.
Yep, I remember talking about that in Armadillo with folks. I think on my first day, as a matter of fact.
Oh hell, yeah.
I like that we have a real porch. Hey,
All right, let me check tip line.
sure. Yeah, that's fair. According to Wikipedia, there's not a whole lot
I
of.
do not know what's happening. Well, I mean, nothing's happening. That's what's happening, but...
There's a lot of folks over by the ranger department.
Oh,
Oh, hello.
Sorry.
howdy, there's Blanche. This is Blanche. This is
Howdy, Blanche.
Moody. He's training to become a nurse.
I look forward to working with you.
Use well, ma'am. Use well.
This is Ella Cassidy. She's in the office like every other day with a different injury.
Wow.
Okay.
Way to call
Emmett?
me out.
I need you to not tell Fletcher, but I want to check the tip line because there's something going on in Valentine.
There's nothing on the
Is
tip
there?
line.
What?
We've been checking it
But
for the
there's for
past
Ranger.
5, 10, 15 minutes.
What?
Well,
What?
We don't have anything.
there's a. Can I say this?
Yeah, well,
Can I say this?
I don't see
probably
why
shouldn't.
not.
Well, there's a dead body over in Valentine.
Oh, well then, yeah, we
In
definitely
Cumberland.
need to know. What the heck?
Oh,
Well-
interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, they telegrammed. Yeah, it's the Rangers telegrammed in to us and said they were waiting for law, but I know for a fact there's only like one law on duty. So
Oh.
yeah,
Wow, there's really nothing on our tip line like at all. You'd think that they would have sent something already.
Well, yeah,
you would
that is
have to
part of
deal
our.
with
you would think.
That is that is part of our training to contact medical for that. So that might just be, I don't know.
yeah. Because, yeah, we need to certify the death.
I don't know if I should tell you this, but there's a dead body somewhere.
Well,
yes.
I don't know.
No, I just thought it was cute.
You are too pure for this world.
I agree.
That is interesting.
I-
I have not heard anything about mercury injections yet from training. So,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
thank you.
I
No,
suppose we ought to head that direction at some point. Thank you.
We might as well.
Would you
how-
rather be squish your cheeks?
No. And also, going back to what you said, you know, I haven't been in here in like a week.
I was really hoping you were going to say like 2 hours.
No, I haven't. This has been a good week. It's been a good week. Okay.
No, yeah, I'm glad. No, I can't get over it. What are you doing?
What are you? Stop.
Animal bites.
Stop.
Oh,
There's no animal bites. What do you mean?
I'm looking for some.
There's not.
You're telling me you haven't been bit by any animals?
I am telling
Yeah,
you.
with the mercury, yep.
Okay.
Oh, so Bella said it?
Why don't you believe me? You talking about raccoons?
Yeah.
Go crazy
No.
from it, probably.
Damn. No.
what was that?
That doesn't make me feel too confident in that.
No.
I don't plan to catch or
I
treat
feel like
syphilis.
raccoons this week. It's been a
I'll
bad
defer that to a
Oh,
doctor, probably.
I'm hoping there won't be, but we had to well, basically flee from Pronghorn because a large group approached them, and some of them stayed back to talk to them. But I'm worried it's gonna end in injury.
A large
and hurt.
group?
Yes. A group that has definitely been giving Pronghorn problems. So.
Right, well, the fellow walking this is
yeah, it's Connor.
right.
Hi, Connor.
Hello, doctor.
Yeah, there's a dead guy in Valentine that
Yeah,
no
we
one's
have
telling
a-
us about.
Yep. That.
How wild.
You're clocking on duty, right?
Yep.
Okay, good. I was about to say, if you were just coming up here off duty and I was just like, oh, here's some work.
Yep. No, what's going on in Valentine?
I have
We
no
we
idea.
don't know. We just apparently these fine ladies have
Rangers
told us that
have.
somebody may be dead.
Understood. Let me click on.
And then Emmett's clocking off, right? Because now at this point, it's been 8 hours?
Do you want me
Yeah.
to go see when that telegram was sent?
Sure.
It's really
I
no
suppose.
big deal.
Well, maybe we'll let Dr. McNamara tell you
Okay.
for sure, but
I'm assuming Rangers are just waiting for law because it's probably something suspicious, and then
Yeah, but there's no laws.
Not many law, apparently.
Okay, yeah, but we can head over there and take care of it and hopefully either get the body stored away properly and wait for more law or the
Right.
whatnot.
Well, this is a practical I've not had yet.
Just be safe.
Of course.
Will do. You as well. Keep up the healthy streak.
I will. I promise.
Mm-hmm.
I will. I promise. I will. Fletcher always says, "I'll be seeing you soon, Alan." I'm like, "No, you won't." Sounds like a threat when he says it.
Well, it might be. It's Fletcher.
That is true.
That's true.
All right. Stay safe.
You too.
Bye.
Lovely folks. It was, you said Blanche and Allie?
Ella.
Ella. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, Doc.
How's the shift been going so far?
Been awful quiet.
Yeah.
Except for some knocking on the window in there, which we are not sure what that is.
Quack, quack, quack.
Yeah.
Okay.
Connor
I
believes
fixed it.
in the bad voodoo of that word.
Yep.
Which word?
Starts with a Q.
Oh, I see.
And
I shall stick to other words such as silent.
Silent, serene, calm. All of these things are fine.
Right.
Unless you're really bored and you want things to happen, and then it's okay to say.
Well,
or if
sure.
you're clocking off duty and want to cause hell, also okay to say.
I'm not bored. I just would be nice to get practicals in
No, of course.
broken bones or maybe concussions at some point. I was just saying to Victor and to Jane the other day. It's not that I'm hoping that people get hurt, but when they do, then I have something I can help with.
Yeah, it's one of those. I mean, never want to wish harm on somebody, but to be able to help more people, you do need to be in a position to see and treat. So.
Exactly. Can't really do that if there's nothing happening. Oh, apparently there is a group of 4 who may or may not be robbing folk in between
Gotcha.
here and Blackwater.
Blackwater, I saw the message on the tip line. So, what rangers or law, or we're waiting on them for the body, or somebody being brought in, or what exactly is?
We just have heard that rangers know about it, which means they're probably waiting on law to actually show up to do something. But according to Ella, there's only maybe one law on duty, so that might not happen anytime soon.
Okay.
yeah, so we might just want to ride to Valentin and
Yeah, that's
And apparently that's
reasonable.
where it is.
Okay. In the
If-
medical office, or do we know where?
I have
think
no
we know.
idea.
I don't think we
Time
know.
for some detectiving.
You know what? It's time for medic law.
Yes. There we go. Horses or wagon?
Let's just do a wagon.
Okay.
Does not matter to me. I drove Veronica around the other night.
Fantastic. You get to drive that.
Oh, alrighty.
God damn it, Connor.
And hopefully we don't run anybody over.
I mean, if we do, then we have to.
I'll go right over the cat instead.
Sir, there's a large
Sir,
wagon.
do you mind?
Oh my. Sir, just get out of the fucking road.
Please maneuver to the side of the road, sir. This is
I'm
a
just go
medical
next to him and let
emergency.
you. I'm just gonna let you bop him in the head, Doc. Maybe he'll get the point then.
Hit him with a clipboard.
Exactly.
Trouble would we get in if we just start running around yelling medic law?
I mean, I thought you were going to say hitting locals that get in our way, and that we would get in trouble for. But I think just yelling medic law would be something that I think would be fine and fun, but I might get chewed out later for not setting a serious tone regarding department reputation.
Okay. So we'll just
Well,
loudly
Yeah.
say it.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm fine with it.
Well, seeing as you are the one member of the department that I've seen actively jump off of a wagon,
Yeah, Fletcher wasn't happy with that too much.
I'm sure he was not.
I don't think we were going that fast.
I'm not sure we were either, but I would mostly rather we got there in one piece.
Yes. No, I will refrain from jumping off of the wagon. I will refrain from attempting to shield raccoons from harm.
I wonder
I
who
will not put
permitted.
myself at risk when there are patients to treat and work to do.
I completely forgot about that coon thing.
Oh, I shouldn't have brought it back up then.
Not a thing I know anything about, so
Yeah, everything was fine and nothing happened.
I'll take your word for it.
You did miss the inaugural walking hunt of the States Crossing Department of Hunting, however. Hopefully we can get you in on a future one if you have any interest.
Well, honestly, I think Fletcher's kind of curious on doing one up in the snow, but that might be a bit more.
I think I went the wrong
just 'cause,
way.
you know, all the snow slowing us down.
Right. I'd still like to do that at some point. Whenever Juliet was still going to be doing like a glacier tour at some point that I'd be interested in, but I'm just hoping to actually go explore up there a bit. And I've been advised I should not do that on my own.
Yeah.
No, likely not.
Given that I think we have lost, well, a couple rangers I've ended up needing rescuing, from my understanding.
Well, given the state of Silas's toes, probably
Yeah.
best not to go up there alone. And he was even with someone.
Yeah, I didn't get any specifics on what had happened. I hope he's doing okay.
Yeah. He should be doing all right. I mean, he lost his two toes, which just sucks, but. I think they were canoeing down Spider Gorge, though.
You know, I enjoy canoeing. I enjoy boats. I don't know that I like the idea of canoeing in icy water.
I don't know. The rapids are pretty fun up there.
Uh-oh. Oh, wait, maybe he was training for the race.
Wait, there's gonna be races sometime?
No, we still, we're tied right now. I won one and he won one with canoeing, so we've decided we have to do another one at some point. I haven't done any training. Oh, okay. Well, if you hear about a doctor that's been downed out in the cold canoeing alone, it was important.
Yeah. I mean, hell, maybe we can make it into a medic thing. Because we're due a medic outing.
We are. I was hoping to get mine scheduled, but I'm a little tied up with planning my scavenger hunt that I think I was when I do my event, I want to be able to put up a few posters, and I also don't want to pollute and have too many posters up at the same time. So I think I'll have to push mine back a bit. I've now decided to make my wedding present more convoluted, so I'm working out a cipher that they have to decode.
You're not inventing like a whole new language, are you?
No, I'm using an existing one. If I mentioned the Julius Caesar code, would either of you know what I'm talking about?
No idea.
Nope, but I imagine it has something to do with Latin.
So it actually doesn't. It was something that I remember back in school, but they would encode some of their military orders when he was in charge, and they would shift the alphabet by a certain number of letters. So if you knew the right number of how many to shift it, you would just like three would all A's would be C's, for example, and that type of thing. So I was basically going to give them a scavenger hunt where they have to go find what the next number is to be able to decode the next page in a book, and then it would lead them to I will bury it here somewhere.
Oh, that's actually really fucking cool.
So that is one of my projects for this weekend, because I think they're in Chicago right now, so I can get that done before they get back.
Howdy.
So we can bring it around the back and head into the back of the office. Perfect.
Now, is the ability to conscript a wagon something that just comes with wearing the sash?
So, after once you're certified, you can get your keys to the department and access to the work.
Right.
The local nurses will respond when you request a wagon, so something that you can
Oh, very
get
interesting.
to bring in for patient transport, or honestly, if you are just traveling at night between offices, it can be nice to do it via a wagon that scares off some of the predators.
Yes, very, very true.
I forget if I locked the door. I'll be right back.
Mason is over on the front porch of the sheriff's department. Yep. I imagine getting the details.
We'll go eavesdrop.
When you coming?
Where we going?
The body's already been given over to the family. They just preside here in Valentine.
Get on your horse. Let's go out to the...
All right, I'm coming.
Get to the wagon. We're going to Rhodes.
Oh,
Understood.
Injured deputy. The other deputies are going there. Oh, we all just gonna... Oh.
I don't know, apparently.
Gunshot?
I had no idea. It's typical medic
Yeah, understood.
telegram.
Okay.
Okay, that guy wanted to die.
I should have yelled medic law. So sorry. Let you down.
Do we often know who's injured via medic tips, or does that ever happen?
It's very nice when they decide to include it. But generally, it'll just say patient or patients wounded.
I see.
Sometimes we'll get rangers will include a little bit more detail if they have it. Sometimes they'll give specifics. But if it's urgent, normally it's just going to be panicked writing. Sometimes you'll get multiple tips for the same thing, spaced out over time, which can confuse us as to who's responding. Sometimes they'll just say injured and not breathing. Sometimes they'll give specifics about gunshot wounds. So it's hard to necessarily know what you're walking into. We like to try and gently encourage others to provide detail when the timing is appropriate and doesn't seem insensitive to, one of their loved ones is actively being worked on, and I'm yelling at them about how they can, give us better information. But it is good to do some coaching as possible on that front as when it's appropriate.
Right.
Moody, how would you feel comfortable starting to take point, or would you rather assist, or how would you feel? What kind of most comfortable heading into this?
Well, it depends on what we're walking into, I suppose.
Okay.
Oh, I think it's just one deputy. But, sometimes you just get, one deputy's injured, and you get there, and there's like 20 of them injured, and sometimes they're like,
something else is going on.
oh, there's 20 deputies injured, and you get there, and only one has a scrape on the knee.
Or they all had critical injuries, and the doctor's already treated everything within about 5 minutes of the tip coming in.
Right, yeah, that's happened to Fletcher and I. We got to Armadillo for a multiple down, and there was one person that had a scrape on her head, another that had something with his leg, and then McGuire, who was bleeding all over the back wall. We wound up having to drain his lung, but...
Well, depending on how things look, if you want to kind of initially take lead and then call us in as you need us,
Sure,
be on
I
hand
could.
for extra hands.
Sure.
I can also can just kind of get an IV going for fluids or potential transfusion, depending on how bad it's looking.
That'd be
take
great.
it from there, and then just delegate what you need us to do.
I did, let's see, this would have been Wednesday, fairly early, meaning actually probably technically Thursday. There was a lady that got dropped off at the Valentine office with a shotgun wound to her chest, and Veronica basically ran the telegram station for me to try and get Victor up so he could be a blood bag while I was pulling pellets out and then sewing stuff up, getting the quercetin running, etc.
Okay, perfect. Yep, sounds perfect. So take lead, let us know what you need us to do, and we'll step in if there's any concerns.
Sounds
And
good.
actually, what all did you treat during that?
That
what all
particular,
did you have to stitch up? Yeah.
it was fortunately nothing major. No organ damage. No real muscular anything either. She was damn lucky, I think.
All right. Any arterial or no?
No, didn't seem to be, which was nice.
Okay.
She was out cold though. We wound up taking her to Saint Denis for overnight observation. I still don't know if she's woken up. Ooh. Interesting. Martial law even apply to us?
It can.
I'm so
Interesting.
sorry. We got a. Sorry, you're so fucking thinly strung right now.
Yeah.
If y'all wanna, if there's any way y'all can move around the back,
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm happy to sort you guys around there.
We'll move
Yeah.
around.
I'm so sorry.
No, we'll go to the left.
I did not mean to be that rude to y'all.
No, it's all right. It's all right.
You're only
It-
doing your job.
Is this final direction?
Yeah. Just as far around the city town.
Can do.
as you can right now.
Yep, just heading to the medical office. We'll be there.
Seems as good we went this way.
Yep, that would have been a bad time to yell medical, I think. All right. I just cut through the field.
What a time to yell medic law.
We could
Cut further into your
unless
right,
we have to
honestly.
transfer. We'd leave it here and then just move up.
True.
We're just behind the tent.
And I'll just leave it here. Oh. Alright.
But she is completely out cold. I don't know what to do.
Alright.
So how did I know it was going to be Miss Boswell again?
Hey, bank's being robbed. Were you one of the hostages that run up in there?
Alright.
Alright, well, be careful. Keep your head up.
I believe her name is, they said, called her Boswell.
Yep. Oh, you got hit in the face. Hopefully that's not a bad anything.
Yeah, she got whipped right in the face with over.
Well, Miss Boswell, if that's the gash that I stitched up in Armadillo, I'm gonna be a little upset. Her vitals are a little bit elevated.
And what's your name, miss?
My name is Sofia Kulikova. This is the second time in a week that I have now
Nope,
gotten
this is a
hurt
different
by
gash. That's good at least.
a random group of people and for other people's problems.
You said you got hit on the head as well.
Yes, there is one that grabbed me from behind and he keeps smacking me. He told me to answer questions, I did, and they smack me every single time.
I'm so sorry.
Let's see. If she's unconscious, we should probably do some quercetin. Is that right, Doc?
Yep, the vitals are elevated. I get quercetin on board to try and help stabilize them.
They are, yes.
And then, yep, so full dose quercetin. Given the blunt force trauma to the head, I'd evaluate to see if we have any potential skull fracture. And
all right.
Smack
then
me
go from
in
there.
front as well before
And
letting
are
me go.
we doing muscular injection or vein for the quercetin?
I would do IM for the thigh.
All right.
You have any pressure building up behind your eyes or anything?
I feel very, what's this word?
Alright, scale 1 to 10, how bad is it?
I not feel like I have forgotten anything, so maybe you said 1 to 10, is 10 the
All
worst?
right. Here we go, Miss Boswell.
I would say maybe 4.
Okay. Would you like some willow bark or some aspirin?
I do not know what, aspirin, actually, I do know what that is. Yes, I will take some.
Alright.
What is willow, whatever?
Willow bark is... It's the stuff aspirin's made of. It tastes like ass.
Well, then I would rather have something that does not taste like ass.
Yucca. Alright, so we got that
It's,
on board.
Oh,
Oh my god!
We're all right. Just keep calm, ma'am. Everything will be all right.
Alright, do you have food on you? I would take this as food.
So thank you. Is that inside down?
Oh, I think it's at the bank.
Alright, let's see how deep this gash on the head is.
You want me to move into other chair?
You can if you want.
Yes, I do not want to talk over these people.
Well, no signs of a fracture.
If you want to be
seems like
behind the
we'll just
desk
have
here
to
too, depending on your comfort level, sometimes this will give you a little bit of cover just in case any stray bullets come this way.
So, no fracture. Just seems like the gash is going to need some stitching, and then we'll have to wake her up slowly, I guess. The busted lip, I assume we just maybe put some ice on?
So you can, potentially, sometimes you can, not that it's, comfortable, but if she's out, you can kind of get a little bit of cocaine paste over the site. And even though the cat gut can sometimes be a little irritating, if it is something where it's kind of, if it looks like it's been busted to the point where it's a little wide, because it will dissolve. I like to use kind of a finer element, so sometimes I'll take a scalpel and kind of trim the cat gut so it's a little thinner, and you can do a really little fine stitch or two to try and help hold it together. Be really careful with the tension because you can kind of just pop it as you're trying to put the knot in, but it can kind of bring it together if there's any concerns.
And then for her head, I assume we just, we're looking at cat gut for the gash in the up top, I suppose.
Can do cat gut. Sometimes I'll do
Or
silk. If it's somewhere where it's going to be visible. If it's going to be kind of more under the hair, I'll generally just use cat gut because it's a little kind of easier to not have to necessarily go in and remove it. But if it's something where it's going to be kind of more kind of forehead or somewhere where you can see it, sometimes you can do some little detailed work with closing it where the scar becomes a little less apparent.
It does look like we could do a couple of stitches with the lip.
Okay. I will try and get some of that cat gut prepared.
Let's see. It does seem like it's above her hairline, so we could probably get away with some cat gut, I suppose.
Perfect.
Yeah, apparently. Silk is good for some things, but so is cat gut.
How's she looking?
Just doing okay. Any other wounds that going to be coming in?
No, they are y'all all the medics are around right now?
Yes.
Yeah, just stay. I think y'all should move with us. We shot one down, one of theirs, when he started firing at us, but they fucked off with him. I think one of theirs is medically inclined, so we'll see if they try to grab anyone, but I am genuinely very sorry for yelling at y'all. I didn't mean to.
No, not a problem. Would much rather things be safe than not, so appreciate you looking out for us situation.
Was that a gunshot? Or no, it was just a window. Yeah, sorry.
All right.
Y'all are doing great work.
See.
I'll leave y'all to it all.
Alright, looks like we get the head gash all handled. Being that it's above the hairline, I suppose we can't really bandage that super well, can we?
It's a little bulky, but we can do kind of a little wrap just
do something.
So there's a little bit of light easing. I'll get something over it. It'll,
all right,
be a fashion statement temporarily, but then once the bleeding stops, I can generally kind of take it down.
Can you check to see if I'm fairly certain there are two Boswells. I think this is Miss E. Boswell. Can you find out if she's allergic to cocaine paste for me? I could do a skin test, but if it says it in there already, Of course, if they're both E. Boswell, I suppose that doesn't help.
No, it's Julia and then Elise. But
Yes, I think this
not
is Miss
seeing
Elise.
allergies specified for either one.
Right. Remember the turquoise from the last time I treated the gash on her head. All right.
Okay.
All right. And we will give it a little bit before we do anything here. You said you prepped the thinner cat gut.
Yep, should be. Oh, sorry. Let me pull that up. I just put that a little bit behind you, but should be right here. You just want to go kind of nice and slow, little thin needle,
Yep.
and if it does kind of give way, we can always kind of use a little bit more. But
Sure. Seems like she's only going to need maybe 2. Perfect.
Yeah.
Looks like it's okay.
fine,
Very good.
fine work there.
And Dr. Bella's little tip about hide seems to have paid off very nicely. I think that's about it. Do we should we try and wake her up now, or
You can kind of see it. It seems like it's something where she will be
check
waking
and
up.
see?
Kind of tell by her vitals, but if it seems like she might need a little bit of a stimulant, sometimes I'll just crack smelling salts a little farther away.
Right, and waft it toward her, I remember.
If one thing we could do before she wakes up is do a little skin test for grapeseed, and then get a half dose on board if she's doing okay. Just
Right.
sometimes when you take that hit to the head can cause a little bit of swelling, and the grapeseed tends to help a little bit with that.
Sure. Seems like she will be waking up here before too long. Let's go ahead and do that real quick. So we need what? A needle, just a trace of the grapeseed, and
Yep. So normally I'll draw up the
check her real
full,
gently.
draw up the half dose that you'd be planning to give, and then just inject just a small amount just under the skin. And as long as we're not seeing a reaction, then you
Alright.
can kind of give the rest.
I guess it doesn't say anything in there about that either.
No, I didn't see it for either one, but
Alright.
we'll make sure we get it added.
Connor's a wonderful doctor, and Moody's have been really doing well. So,
I see. And what is your name?
Emmett Mason.
Well, it is a pleasure to meet you.
All right. You said a half dose?
Yep, and if the pain's more worse, then we can always get more on board. But if she's going to be, waking up, sometimes that helps dull a little bit of that pain on initially.
Thank you.
Hello, Flood. I don't think so.
Now to see if there's any sort of swelling or redness, correct?
Sometimes you'll get a little bit of hives, but normally it'll be a small little local reaction there. If there's not a significant change, normally good to give the rest of the dose.
And we're doing this also in the thigh?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that it lasts longer.
Yep, absorbs in through the muscle. It's pretty vascular, so if it was something where we already had, if we needed to put an IV in, that'll be a little bit more direct. But otherwise, normally you can do a deltoid or a thigh for these. You can also sometimes kind of go gluteal, but I normally like to go more musculature.
Sure. Looks like she's all right, so we'll just go ahead and administer the rest of the dose.
Yeah, perfect.
Let's spell squeezes right. Alright, and I suppose now we just wait for her to wake up.
Yep, it's taken a little while. There are smelling salts. You can also sometimes put a little bit of pressure kind of on either the index or the long finger. Sometimes that can get them to stir. If it's something where you're really concerned, they weren't responsive, you can do a sternum rub where basically you take your knuckles and rub kind of really firmly kind of over the chest. They'll normally have a response to that. Like avoiding that whenever possible, however.
Sure.
They're never going to be a fan. So for the most part, something you can generally avoid.
All right. Oh, here we are. All right, easy there, Miss Boswell. Do you happen to know where you are? I can tell you.
The surroundings medical office somewhere.
Yeah. Medical office in Rhodes. My name is Robert Moody. We met in Armadillo some time ago. Here's Dr. Connor McNamara. Yes, I believe I told you not to get hit in the head again.
Look, I can control that.
That's all right. It's all right. Down here just to make sure that I can patch you up if and when you do.
Connor, I'm gonna rush off Strawberry.
Okay.
You should be all right. Just seems like you got hit in the head a bit. Do me a favor. Just keep track of any sort of dizziness. If you vomit, anything like that, come back here. Talk to, or send a tip if we're not here. But just pay attention to it.
Horse.
Okay.
And try not to go to sleep unless it's actually bedtime.
Okay, sounds good.
Other than that, as soon as you feel all right to move, you should be fine to do so.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Of course. All right. Well, she's awake.
Perfect. And Deputy, if you had to rate your being right now, scale of 1 to 10, 1 being you stubbed your toe, 10 being you were kind of traipsing through Lemoyne and found the alligators having a secret meeting, and unfortunately they realized you were there and they all kind of lunged at you at once. At being 10, what would you put it at this point, do you think?
I'd say about a 5. I took a pounding headache at the moment.
Mm-hmm. I think we've got a little ice box out back. I'll see if we can get a little bit of ice for you. You do have about a half dose of grapeseed extract on hand at this point that should be helping keep some of that in check. When that starts to wear off, it's going to get a little worse, but we can get either some phenacetin or are you going to be on duty later this evening?
Depends on how I feel, honestly.
Yeah, that's fair. So I'd recommend we try phenacetin. Willow bark or aspirin can sometimes cause just a little bit of increased risk of bleeding, which if you are feeling up for being on duty, we would very much like to, avoid increased bleeding. But we'll get you a little envelope for about a 5-day course. You can take it every 6 hours, so 4 times a day with a little bit of water. Helps keep the pain in check if you need it. Okay?
All
But let me go check and see if we've got some of that ice.
I wonder what this paper says. I can't read it. It's too spidery. I did not mean to like make her be like, oh no, it's a different gash. Like I didn't want to guilt her into anything. That was funny though. McNamara is a little bit silly, which is great.
Just kind of get into the area if it's feeling a little bit kind of swollen. Can sometimes help with a little bit of that throbbing headache. And also have an envelope here with the phenacetin tablets. Of course, any questions for us or anything else we can do for you?
No, not at the moment.
Okay. The bed here is yours. Feel free to rest up. If you need us, just let us know. But if you're feeling up stable, we're gonna probably move on to Strawberry to
Yeah, no. Go help people that need it.
Okay, will do. But if you do need us, you just let us know. We'll be there right away, okay?
I will, thank you.
All right. I'm just gonna let them know we're heading over, but I'd
All right.
prefer Emmett not be out there alone if we can avoid it.
Sure, sure. Oh, that's Goth Bro's character. That's Z's character. The one talking to Connor right now. That's cool. I like when I can recognize people. Alright, Miss Elise, now you be careful.
I will, thank you.
Of course.
Alright, so those two were not the witnesses.
Okay. We could stage here, but it doesn't sound like there's anything specifically coming in. It's just that we know we'd be safe with the deputies able to keep an eye on us. I'd rather make sure Emmett's okay. So, if you're comfortable, I'd say we move on to Strawberry.
Yeah, fine with me.
So, thank you for letting me know that it was. Oh, understood.
Hello?
Oh, sorry. Something stuck in my ear.
Oh,
How are we doing?
it is you. Hello.
It is. Anything I can give you a hand with today?
Have you seen Flinch?
I know that earlier this evening, he was going to be clonked up for a while for a surgery, but I haven't heard back since.
Okay. Oh, we might not wish to discuss that case. He would likely be in Saint Denis or something like that, but I do not wish to disturb something so important. Did you happen to hear the shootings earlier?
Yes, that was pretty recent. It sounds like they rode off, but not sure the specifics of it.
We had the road into town right as they were leaving bank from their. And then the shooting starts, and we flee into Parlor House to take shelter.
Don't want shot.
Interesting.
I believe they headed more westwards, but we are heading eastwards for now.
I don't know who this guy is.
We will probably linger in Saint Denis and see if we can catch him on the way out. You as well.
He's Russian.
Travel safe.
Yep, you too. All right, should be set.
You were saying, Doc?
I don't remember.
Thank you for letting you know something.
Oh, that it was not Julia Boswell.
Oh yes, of course.
I didn't realize there were two Boswells.
Yeah,
that were both deputies. So when I heard Deputy Boswell, I was like, oh, okay, we'll just start the paperwork here, and that was wrong. So.
Yep, nope. I learned that when I was working on her in Armadillo.
Gotcha.
I think she's relatively new.
Okay. I did catch the name of the patient Emmett treated. It's Sophia, and it's something that either started with a Z or something maybe similar. But
yeah, she sounded about as Russian as those two folks did just now.
Yeah, just a bit. Yeah, one of them says I ran into him the other night. He says he's pretty good friends with Fletcher, and he knows
sure.
He gave away a bit that lets him know he definitely knows Fletcher, but I telegrammed Fletcher and didn't hear back, so I try not to give any specific identifying or location information.
Of course, we don't know if he's actually around.
Right. So I'm trying to be general without lying. He's very pleasant. I had a chat with him in Blackwater for a bit, but
Yep. Was it good to just let her know of, let us know if there's any concussion symptoms right there at the end, just in case? Very good.
Concussion, just general whenever there's head trauma, but if they're pretty alert and doing well, I just like to give them a heads up of just in case anything happens.
Right.
Be careful. You might have things might seem a little fuzzy, you might have some visual disturbances, but if they're blatantly, exhibiting significant signs, I'll ideally ask if they can, be somewhere public and just maybe sleep in kind of a parlor house or saloon, or if they have, next to kin or friend with them, make sure somebody's keeping an eye on it. But otherwise, no. Very well done.
Thank you, sir.
And very fine stage work. It looked great.
Well, Dr. Billa's tip is to be blamed for that. Well, or credited, I suppose.
What she had you working on?
She said go down to the tanner and get some hide and practice on that. So I did.
So I think if the lip quiz, thought you did great. If you want to do some kind of really kind of finer detail, if you want to practice on something that would be kind of more similar to kind of an organ lining, grape skin.
Grape skin. Okay.
It's very fine. You can shred it easily. But when you end up having to potentially kind of patch up an intestinal lining, it'll be good to have gotten a little bit of practice on something pretty thin. I would only really kind of try silk on it.
Sure.
The catgut is can be sometimes a little coarse, but
Well, and if you're doing intestinal work anyway, you're going to want to use silk.
Exactly. But it can be a good thing to get a little bit of practice in with.
I'll have to do that. Yeah. She recommended it after I mentioned still sort of getting reused to having the strength and steadiness in my right arm to be able to do stuff with it, like sewing. So.
Yep. No, it's good. You don't think of it as a workout, but I mean, you're using some of those finer kind of muscles for control, and it's.
Well, and it's stuff that I haven't done for quite some time. I've only really had regained the full use specifically of these last two fingers on my right hand since Dr. Gray operated on my shoulder back in March.
Okay.
I've just kind of been recuperating out of state for a bit since then.
You don't think about how much that ulnar nerve is really going to affect. I mean,
what it does.
With so much of that, people think like, oh, if I'm going to lose a finger, I just lose my little finger. I'm like, well,
I don't know that you want to do that. My wife had to help me learn how to write with my left hand, which now is great because I have a bit of what do they call it, ambidexterity. But at the time was very concerning, I suppose.
Oh, absolutely. But that is huge and really helps if you end up wanting to kind of get a little bit more into the operating theater. And just when you're doing procedures, being able to do a little bit of work with either hand, stabilize.
I've noticed that a little bit
from switch to the offhand can be really good.
I've noticed that a little bit from taking the pellets out of the lady the other night. One of them stuck, and I had to use forceps and tweezers in simultaneous capacity. It was fairly handy.
Great experience.
I think that fellow may have swung around and is following us now.
Okay. Well, we're in town. Probably won't pull a gun.
Sure.
And this is great.
Oh, that may be because it's Emmett.
Never mind.
Howdy, Emmett.
Howdy.
Anything? Can we give you a hand with anything, or you just head out?
I was just headed out. Well. I think I read into the medic tip a bit too much.
Oh, okay.
They had wolf scratches yesterday, and after an entire day, the bandages were a little bloody. So,
okay.
Yeah. I just had to change bandages.
Yep, understood. Okay. Law, you mentioned there's not a lot of them about, so there is a group in Rhodes, so Rhodes seems secure at this point.
Maybe we go back and stage out of there.
So we could potentially, if we were going to hold up at an office, that might be a reasonable one to stay at for the moment.
Okay, yeah.
Were you going to stay on duty, or were you?
I might be clocking it off.
Okay. Gotcha. Just wanted to make sure you weren't here alone if we could avoid it, but understood.
Best of luck to you all.
Okay.
Of course.
Yep. If anything comes up, let us know, but otherwise just hope you get some rest.
Oh. Okay, you guys.
It's going to be an awkward turn. Gonna make it work.
Yep. That'll happen. Worst case scenario, we just yell medic law and...
Yeah, exactly. There we go. It only took 5 years. So how do you feel training's been coming along so far? Any thinking in particular you're interested in seeing or going over? Or?
Not that Emmett didn't go over earlier already.
Perfect. Okay.
I think he said we're getting to the point now where knowledge is pretty much covered. We just need practicals. So.
Yep. So we'll just.
Unfortunately, just barely missed being able to do a poisoning practical, I guess.
Oh, what had happened?
I'm not sure exactly, but when I walked into the strawberry office earlier, it smelled awful bad, and Mason said not to mind it too much. They just had dealt with it. So I think it's something they ate, but I don't know.
Yep. Normally we'll have some organic syrup that you can potentially end up getting them to kind of induce vomiting. It's something where something has been fully ingested, activated charcoal, kind of help bind any concerning kind of agents.
That, or is it a ipecac, maybe?
Yes. Yep. And I like to use that to try and clear things out if we can. And then a lot of it's somatic care.
Yeah. Treating the symptoms that are left over. Sure.
Have you been able to work with Medic Becker much?
A little bit, but not a whole lot.
When she is working on a project, she gets very in depth. So when you end up getting certified and having access to the files, it'll she's working on toxicology at the moment. So if it's something where you have the opportunity to follow some people around or work with varying members of the department, if you can get a shift with her, if you ever want to pick her brain, she pretty much done anything you'd want to know on that front.
That's good. I was less worried about it, and more that when we were going over it, it was Mason going over it with Dr. Whitmore and myself. And Whitmore has a great deal more knowledge and experience on the matter. So he sort of bulldozed over things, and I just needed to make sure that I had actually gone over it a second time.
Understood.
This is an interesting way to go, Connor.
Yep, once he starts on a subject,
he's a very smart man, for sure. Which is sometimes all right, but not always the best when you're...
Yeah, it can be difficult when you're trying to obtain information and kind of go over things.
Indeed.
Get back on the road here. So I saw you'll be hopefully potentially multiple triage sessions?
Ideally, yeah. To at least glean and then hopefully help. Mason was saying that Fletcher was doing the first one. He was probably doing the second, and then Fletcher was maybe doing the third.
Yeah, so, depending on if availability, I might prefer to tag in on the third one to free him up instead of having to do multiple classes. Oh. Okay.
Medic-law.
Yeah. The locals are throwing me off a little bit. They all seem to want to just...
Yeah, they do that. They do that. And unfortunately, on Medic-law, them won't do all that much.
Not too much, no. Other than, if we hit them, they decide to draw guns.
True. What do we do at that point? Ideally, I guess Miss Constance or Mr. Flood are with us, but...
in a perfect world, if they are firing on you, you have the right to self-defense. If you have the ability to get clear of the situation, I would try and just flee the scene if at all possible. But if a gun is actually drawn and is being fired and you're armed, within your rights to defend yourself. I fortunately haven't had them do that. I know Bella had pretty much all of Annisburg firing at her at one point. She was just trying to get clear. Fortunately made it out because she doesn't carry a gun. I tend not to generally while I'm on duty. I just haven't had the ability. I didn't stow mine before walking in. Most of the department is armed. But
I keep mine on my horse, but after
that's generally what I end up doing too.
After getting asked into the sheriff's department the other day to look at a potential strangulation victim who was in one of the cells, it just sort of made sense. Just leave it there. It makes it a little easier for them.
Yeah. It's also, I mean, if you're about to get robbed and you don't have any weapons on you,
right,
and you just say you're a medic, normally they'll just move on. Sometimes they get a little tempted if you are armed, but...
Well, I mean, I suppose if they want a double action in a regular old carbine, they can have it.
Yeah.
I don't ever plan to get anything expensive. Maybe a bolt action just for hunting purposes, but I don't know. Nothing as fancy as the one that Mason wears.
Yeah, we finally had a couple of people go out doing a little bit of hunting. It was kind of fun to try that as a group.
Yeah, I heard something about that.
Howdy.
You guys said something about that. The what'd you call it? The hunting department or something?
Yeah, Department of Hunting. Still the SCDH.
Right.
But it was fun. But if you ever want to tag along, I have 2 bolt actions, so I can run do one.
Sure.
One I normally don't really take out. It was my mentors. Please move, dog. Please. Okay. We're gonna maneuver around the dog. No dogs are gonna be harmed. This is gonna be fine.
Yep. I have a carbine that my late wife bought and customized for me.
Oh.
But after I bought a Lancaster and then had some fellas take it off me for a varmint rifle instead, I've opted to maybe just leave that one in the bank.
Yeah, that's how I kind of approach things with.
Oh my. I don't know how that happened.
Well, we got here.
Like it fell right off the axle when we stopped.
I've never seen that happen before. But hopefully we can get that repaired, because...
I imagine there's folks that can do it. Howdy there, sir. I want to step on this on the way. Nope, can't stand on the scale. Okay.
Put in the information for no. Let's see if I can figure this out. It was Sophia something.
Started with a Z, I think you said.
I thought so. All right. Well. Okay, it might be Sophia Kulikova, which would be a K. Do you mind just running over and checking with the deputies really quickly, if that was the name of the other patient?
Sure. You said Kulikova?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I'll be right back. Pardon me, deputies.
Howdy.
Did you happen to catch the name of the other patient other than Deputy Boswell here? Was it Sophia Kulikova?
Sophia Kulikova,
maybe?
Something like that.
Is that it?
Kulikova.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks.
A bit
Dr.
unsure about the
McNamara.
name.
Dr. McNamara is trying to do the paperwork and asked me to double check with y'all.
Yeah, that's the name I got. I'm not sure on the spelling.
All right. Yeah, appreciate it. By the way, my name is Robert Moody. I'm a trainee with the department.
Nice to meet you, Mooney. I am Deputy Evans.
Deputy Evans, nice to meet you.
excited to have you on the medical team.
Yeah, glad to be here.
Deputy Valjean, it's a pleasure.
Valjean, that sounds a little bit French.
Yeah, Cajun, but yeah, same difference.
Ah, down from south. Very good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna duck back over before he gets too far. Thank you very much, folks.
Well, thank you.
Of course, let us know if you need anything.
Of course, will do. That does in fact seem to be the name, Sofia Kulikova or something. They're not sure of the spelling, but
Yep. No, it's Sophia with an F, which threw me off for a little bit. But
oh, sure.
It does have a citizen's file. The only note being in there was thick Russian accent, so I figured that was awesome.
Yeah, I assume that would maybe be it. Yep. Hey, Beaver.
But I also am not sure the specifics of what Mason was doing. I saw he was taking out sutures at one point or inspecting sutures.
I thought so. Something, yeah.
So one thing you can do is when you're doing paperwork and put FAO when you're kind of starting off or kind of writing the title for a file, and then either seniors or a specific individual. But that way, if he goes in, he can see that it's kind of addressed to him, and he can finish it up instead of potentially having to start from complete and utter scratch or having to find her name.
Makes sense. By the way, we have a Deputy Evans and a Deputy Valjean over there in addition to Boswell, who is sitting.
Good. Okay. Good.
I think there's a few others as well, but those were the three on the front porch. I hope I didn't offend him too much when I said French, and he corrected me. He said Cajun.
Oh, oops. Okay, well, thank you for finding that out for me, so I don't say the same thing.
Well, you're welcome.
I think he's with Peregrine, one of our medics. Not sure if you've been able to work with her, but that's Ricard Valjean, I think.
Is it the same Peregrine that buys or bought herbs for a while?
Yes. So she'd been doing a lot with herbs and ended up.
I have met Peregrine. I assumed incorrectly that Peregrine was a man's name.
That's what I did when I named my horse, and now I try not to call my horse around when she's present.
Yep, I sold some herbs to her via the bartender who swore up and down he was Peregrine, rattled off her telegram number and everything. Gave me
which
Valentine. So I'm not sure. I didn't quite.
We're over at the Milky Hall.
Or someone else. The main saloon.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I could sort of tell something was off when I walked in and I asked for Peregrine, and they both, the two men, one behind the counter, one in front of it, both turned around at the same time and said, "I'm Peregrine," and she sort of, what? No, you're not, or something along those lines. But they sort of spoke over her.
That sounds like Valentine.
Yep, I have learned to expect that there now. But no, it was all right after a while. So I've met her, but not in the context of SCDH.
She tends to be about a little later on, kind of around these hours, from what I've seen so far.
I suppose she's not been with the department terribly long. If I mean, that was only in the last 2 months, maybe, that she's joined, I guess.
Yeah, it's a bit of a blur. I'd say. I don't believe it's June in my head right now, so that's hard to fathom. But
oh yeah, maybe it's more like 3 months then.
Maybe 3 months.
That would have been March, I think. Yeah, that would have been when I first kind of got back in the crossing.
Yeah, that sounds about in terms of timing.
I lived here a good long while ago, in Tumbleweed mostly, but somewhat familiar with the area.
Yeah, once somebody's been with the department for probably more than a month and another person has joined, I just assume you've been here for forever.
I see.
But if anyone would love to go with Jones to Blackwater to go make sure Hollister's alive and well. Wait.
I probably just need one at the very least.
Oh, right, I was going to put in that we did do those tests.
We do want to send a group out that way and protect folks. And
Yep, the GSE and the cocaine paste. Although I suppose the cocaine paste one was already in there.
So when we'll go through all of this eventually, but when you have access to kind of the full citizens registry, we'll note that in the individual file, but it's something where then under citizens general file, there's kind of a little area where you can put some basic medical notes that would be kind of obvious at a quick glance. So I normally like to put kind of the date that we did the test. So I would say June 7th, negative allergy to cocaine-based in GSC, and that way, if somebody does pull it up, they can quickly see that for treatment if they know the patient rather than have to kind of do the test themselves.
Right, make it sure, make it quick.
When you're able to.
Of course, yeah, it makes sense. Does this is going to sound like a silly question? Does morphine raise or lower the heart rate?
Yes.
That may be where the confusion lies then.
So when we have some training paperwork, it's going to mention that it can elevate the heart rate. And somebody, they could have a reaction where it starts to cause a bit of that, but in general, it will act as a systemic depressant. It will specifically lower their respiratory rate. So as their respiratory rate lowers, sometimes the heart will try to kick up a little to try and help counteract that.
I see.
So that if you're getting less oxygen because of a lower respiratory rate, the heart might have an increased rate to try and pump what remaining oxygen there is to help keep them perfused. It can also sometimes have a sedentary effect and lower blood pressure, which is, I mostly kind of focus on if they have shallow breathing, I like to try and avoid it.
Right.
So that's my kind of the thing I'll key in on. I have heard somebody else say that it can thin the blood. I have not found that in my practice or studies. So it's something where if somebody's bleeding, I will still give that if they're actively breathing. If they're not breathing, I would try to avoid it if possible. You could always kind of use ether to sedate them and just make sure that we're using quercetin to try and keep things stable. But there's that can vary a little bit. So it's something where you want to be making sure that anytime you're using it, keeping a close eye on their vital signs.
Right. I just primarily asked because we were going over one of the training things earlier, and Mason said it said something about raising the heart rate, and he said, or no, it said it lowered it, and he said, no, that's not right. It raises it, not lowers it, or something along those lines. So I had heard differently, like in my notes I had that it lowered rather than raised.
Right.
But obviously, if an established SCDH employee is telling you one thing, they may very well know better than you do. So I figured I would ask with you just in case.
Right. No, of course. But it's something where there can be mixed effects.
Sure, sort of a both and.
Mm-hmm.
I see. Okay.
But as long as you're being full about it, and honestly, here in the crossing, I had always pretty much used morphine pre-crossing for kind of field trauma and that type of thing. I wasn't aware of grapeseed extract until I got here, and unless there's a specific allergy, I normally will just try and go directly with that in practice, and then
Sure, because it's nowhere near as addictive.
exactly. And while it's not doesn't have quite the exact same efficacy, it is a strong pain blocker, and
Right.
most of the time will do a fine job. And realistically, there are minimal side effects. So I'll use it if somebody has a concussion for swelling around the brain. Some cases I'll do another half dose on top of a full dose if we need to help keep pain in check, and we're looking to avoid morphine. Would ideally go more than that. I think I've done one double dose ever, and they were fine, but I try not to push that.
No, sure, you probably don't want to dip too far into that if you can avoid it. There we have it, Ginger. It's both.
Yep. So let's see. Contraindications to morphine or laudanum use would be heavy blood loss, in particular lower respiratory rate, and previous addiction. Yep, that documented. Let's see. Yeah, and then the other file I'm seeing is just saying, again, don't use with heavy blood loss, which in general, I tend to see them kind of go into more of a sedated state where you're not able to kind of, if they're already losing, if there is heavy blood loss and you're giving morphine, it kind of puts them at a higher risk of a potential shock.
Right. Yeah, we got quercetin on board for the lady with the shotgun wound, but avoided morphine the whole time. She was already quite pale by the time we got her.
So, let's say Deputy Boswell had a little bit more of a blow to the head with more concussive symptoms. What would the main things you'd be looking out for, and how would you kind of approach that?
Be looking for an actual bump, especially a soft or swollen lump or a bump. We would have preferred a hard bump, but then wondering about pressure behind her eyes. I believe Mason said the soft one can be too much liquid in the head, in the brain.
So if it's a firm lump, it's generally going to be a fluid collection or focal swelling on top of the skull,
rather than inside of
a kind of a base plate. So you get that kind of firm element, which means it's a little blood collection, but it'll go away. If you push on it and it's soft, it means that there's potentially kind of an underlying skull fracture. So it's unstable. That's why you're getting some of that give when you're pushing on it.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
Thinking, one, the potential fracture or an unstable fracture versus something that would be hairline. And then also that means that because it's expanded out, there's potentially kind of a brain bleed. So normally in that case, we're thinking shunt to help relieve the pressure.
Right.
And then pressure behind the being the other big thing to look out for that, which is hard to do when they are unconscious to try and get that sense. So you can potentially try and look for a little bit of subtle bulging, but you might not see that. So that soft bump is kind of the main thing you really kind of have to look out for there.
Right. And then the best you could probably do is a cold wrap to help with the swelling if it's not bad.
Yep. And then honestly, you can also potentially do kind of a little bit of an arnica salve, which can help in that area. What are the kind of symptoms that somebody that has a concussion might be feeling?
Probably dizziness, likely vomiting, but the most important ones would be confusion and memory loss. Which is sort of
You can
why I
also-
asked where she was when she woke up, if she knew.
Yep. I also like to check their eyes. Sometimes you'll get kind of either
Yeah,
a
the
slower,
pupil dilation, right.
Pupil reaction to light, or being able to kind of not follow instructions. Sometimes they'll also get some reflexes that'll be kind of a little off, stumbling potentially. But yep, no, perfect.
And then evidently also some loss of consciousness, especially recent.
Definitely something to look out for. That puts them at a higher risk.
Right. And I'm sorry, I cut you off.
One of the things that I kind of like to do, a lot of it is kind of more just kind of patient education, having them know what to kind of look out for, being symptomatic. But if they're not allergic, half dose of grapeseed can be helpful. In the case of a concussion, it has some neuroprotective effects, and particularly can help with a little bit of swelling around the brain.
Okay.
Have you done a blood draw?
I have not, though I've done blood transfusion.
Okay. So significantly easier, but if you have the time, we could head to Valentine to see Mr. Johann Blom.
Yeah.
Or Bloom, I'm never sure how. But he has some sutures that will need to come out, and he's also requesting a blood test.
Oh, very good.
Which I'm not sure if that's... There's something concerning on that front, or if it was just he was hoping to be a donor. It's been a while since I've seen him as a patient. Let me just do a quick check. It looks like 5 days ago he was involved in a multiple down, and nothing was written for him.
Five days ago would have been Monday.
I think last Saturday, or maybe sorry, it looks like it was the 3rd, but I'm not sure. Just double checking to see if there's anything else recently. Gunshot wound, but that was May 15th, so that should be all kind of handled. And I'm not seeing anything about blood testing, so he may just want to be a.
Oh, you know what?
Being a donor.
I do remember him. We were in Valentine. I was standing around waiting on Dr. Trix because she was conferring with maybe I don't know, somebody from law. And then that fellow was sitting in a chair. He was he was on a little bit of morphine, actually.
Yes, he's had some nerve damage where grapeseed, most pain controls don't really do much for him.
I was trying to remember where I'd heard the name Johann, and that was where. So he had been operated on in some capacity on the 3rd.
Okay.
But I came in too late to actually be around
Understood.
for any of it.
Okay. So a couple of specific questions you want to ask when you're doing a blood test.
Have you eaten?
Yep, that's one of them. Any others?
Well, I know for giving blood, it's have you done so within the past 3 days? I don't know that that's relevant here, but
we're taking a very small amount, so something that we can note, but not something that we need to kind of formally ask. The main ones will be, we do like to know kind of what they do. So you want to ask their current occupation, because we can note that when we're going through it. Any recent injuries, generally anything within the last week. Any medications they've had to take in the last week.
And probably also, have you drank anything, right? Like alcohol-wise?
Exactly. So have you had any alcohol within the last day? Have they eaten today? Any family history of disease? Are we all kind of on board, and do they consent for the taking of the blood and understand what we're planning to use it for? Their current residence, being kind of whether that's New Austin, New Hanover, etc., rather than specific town. And then there's some specific formatting that we'll show you down the road, but it basically just gets filed, and then we have a few nurses that are kind of taking the forefront on processing these, so it can take a while for it to get processed, but they get the results, and then they put everything into they'll telegram the individual with the results after it's been processed.
Yep, I did one, and it came back inconclusive, and I didn't get a chance to do another. So,
okay. Well, if you want, I was unlikely, but that was a while ago, and I kind of want to test it again. So we could potentially, you get his, you can get mine. If you wanted to test yours again, I can get yours, and we can just drop them off in San Antonio afterward.
Sure, might as well.
Okay. Just markers as responding. And head to Valentine. And then if we head to, we might be able to find out how Fletcher's surgery went, potentially, if we go to San Denis to drop off the samples afterward.
All right.
And then after that, I might, delay my time. We'll see.
I probably ought to do the same.
Oh no. Well, this is what they had.
Well. At least I'll be able to tell that we're doctors, I suppose.
Exactly. Yes, it is. You can't mistake it. This one is nice for department events because you can store 5 crates in the back.
Oh, that is nice.
Surprisingly, with the coach we were using before, you can actually sometimes fit 2 in the back, but you have to strap them. There's not really a place to put them.
Oh yeah.
And then the small buggy is, just with the 2 people on it. But I've occasionally will kind of just load up a crate with some medical kits and bandages, and I'll take them out to specific ranches that I know are a little busy, like Emerald or Pronghorn. So I'll put a crate in this and just do a little drive-by gift package for them. So this is useful for that. Outside of it, it annoys me to no end. But occasionally, it seems like, particularly if I have damaged the previous one, I get stuck with this.
Right. We don't trust you. Have this one.
That is more or less my my thought process. I did try to use this in a race at one point. I will say, if you are going fast enough, it is possible to knock the portal and pestle off of the top. That's what you collide with. Not that I would ever condone doing such a thing. I've also tried to do it sometimes on purpose and have not been able to pull it off, so it depends a little bit, I guess, but... Alright, so we'll just bypass that. And outside of the training or triage training tomorrow, I'm not sure if any specific upcoming events. I think there's 1 or 2 that are being scheduled, but I'll let you know as soon as I see anything concrete on that front. But it sounds like there might be some kind of interdepartmental ball?
Yep. Emmett said something along those lines.
Oh, okay. I sounded like they were just looking at July versus August. I didn't really see much else. I haven't gone through all the... I have some paperwork I need to catch up on, reading through to see what's been updated, but I just saw the headline for that, or title for that, earlier today. But anyway, since we don't have specific detailed records on what had happened, Mr. Blum, if you can get any information, you can. You're welcome to kind of lead the way. I'll take notes and get everything filed, and I'll be there if you need me for any questions or if I can help out with it in any way.
I will certainly see what I can do in terms of asking him things.
I'm also guessing we'll be able to piece it together by taking a look at the wounds, but...
yeah, very possibly.
Yeah, but if the sutures are looking good, they're good to come out, we can get those done on. Just make sure there's no other reason you'd be looking for a blood test. If he's just looking to potentially be a donor, we can absolutely just get that done. If it's for another reason, we can still take the sample and get it to the lab in Saint Denis, but kind of need to see if there's anything.
Probably should know that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Swear to God, if the axle comes off of this after we stop, I'm just going to take a horse everywhere. Moving forward.
As you said, we've never seen that before.
Yes, it's never happened. Never will happen again. There's no record of anything happening.
What are you talking about? Something happened?
Thank you. Still need to get Silas to come up with a idea for the vest of the department whenever somebody crashes something.
Well, I hate to say it, Doc, but you may be the first one wearing it.
It's gonna be Fletcher.
You think? You think so?
I drive carefully when I need to. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna get the door here. Might be over in the...
Next door in the law office.
Oh. Pardon. Evening, Johan.
You think about that.
I'm the one
That's
who,
fine.
you obviously know I'm the one that said for them. Yeah, we can go.
Howdy.
Howdy, how are you?
Doing quite alright, thank you. What can I help you with?
Nothing. We actually just sit and try and find this fellow. I'm alright, thank you very much.
Of course.
Sorry.
Oh, you're seeing Mr. Johan about his leg.
Yes.
And everything
I
else.
suppose so, yep.
Well, I hope everything's alright.
So do I. So do I.
Pretty recent. I think she's upstairs talking to Vicky. Let's get situated. Maybe not that chair. Maybe the other chair.
Maybe. I think that was the one you were sitting in the other day when I came in.
That'll work.
It was. I think these got sutures. There's a through and through on my right upper arm, and then pass through into my chest. So those are my sutures. I gotta. They're the oldest ones that haven't ripped open again.
Okay.
Other ones are still pretty fresh. I don't think they'll be ready.
What, Dr. McNamara, you see this note here?
Nope.
Does it say something weird?
It does, yeah.
Let me take a look at it.
Anybody in Valentine been talking about a bone god?
What the fuck? Okay. Just leave it there, and I'll get a deputy or something to look at it. I mean, I'm a deputy, but I'm not.
You're not on duty at the moment, sir. All right. So you said in your leg, and you had a through and through on your arm.
No, the leg and the neck are still they're still fresh from the other day, so I don't think they're ready. But I've got a through and through on my right upper arm, and it passed through and went into the chest, so we should be.
Oh, on the
sets
under.
of sutures there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's shot point blank, so passed through the arm and into the chest near my pit.
Let's see. All right. Well, let's go ahead and take a look.
Might help to take that off.
Oh yes, much better. All right. How are we looking here? All right, looks like we're good here. So, Dr. McNamara, I have not actually practically removed stitches from other people. I've done it for myself.
Mm-hmm. Well, you put in sutures fine enough that it's a much simpler process. So generally, you just want to take some clean scissors and clip under a portion of the knot, and then just use a set of forceps to just gently tug the rest of it free.
Very good. All right. So this one is good. We're going to go ahead and clip that. All right. Very, very simple. And then let's look at the inner arm here. It looks good here as well, so we just clip the knot like so. And then, let's see, alright, and here, where it entered your chest. this also looks good. Great. Alright, so you said you got shot close range with that one? Was it the same time as the neck and the leg, or this a different time?
No, the neck, arm, and chest happened all at once. The thigh happened that day that you were there, but I tore open the neck that day.
I see. All right. Very good. Well, those are done. And you had said something in the telegram about the blood test as well?
Yeah, I've been meaning to get it for a while because I figure might swell. So
Just
I don't
hoping
know
to
if
be
I'm a donor or not.
Sure. Yep. All right. All right. Generally, then, we just got a couple questions. Have you eaten something today recently?
Yeah, I've had some stew.
Very good. Have you drunk any alcohol in the last day?
No, I haven't.
All right. Your healing is nice, so I don't think we need to be too concerned about what's the rest of this. What's the rest of it, Dr. McNamara?
Any family history of any type of hereditary disease or anything concerning on that front?
Right.
No, nothing like hemophilia or anything like that.
Okay. I think if that is all, then I'm going to retrieve...
I'm usually in New Hanover. I haven't been assigned yet for my station, so we'll see.
Just out of curiosity, when is that something where you kind of are assigned more kind of roaming initially and then eventually assigned somewhere? How does that
put a region.
Okay.
So I could technically request, but I can't make up my damn mind.
That's fair.
All right, Deputy, are you left or right-handed, mostly?
I'm right-handed.
Very good. We will take from the left arm here.
It really won't matter to me. I can't feel the right arm anyways. So.
Yeah, the doctor mentioned something about some nerve damage.
Yeah, it happened a few months ago. Back in February.
I can relate. 15-ish years ago, I took a bullet in my right shoulder and, made two of my fingers twitch for, ever since, up until about March of this year. Dr. Gray operated on it.
Yeah, it's wolves for me. Got pretty good in the shoulder and clamped down your the trapezius muscle. So
sure, and it's recovered, but still. I mean, you can't feel it, obviously.
Yeah, I can feel pressure, but the fine feeling's not there. So it's I've gotten used to it. I don't have any issues with using my right hand or nothing. I struggled a bit for the first month or so.
Right, yeah. The hardest part is trying to relearn how to write.
Took a little bit to get to manipulating pistols good enough to.
Sure. Yeah, that would be tough. Well, look like we are good to go. All right.
Perfect. So we'll get that into a little vial, get that labeled, and we'll transport the same thing for testing.
Perfect.
Sometimes there can be a little bit of a delay in processing. We don't necessarily have the full results, but it will be tested before any clotting occurs. And then you'll receive a telegram when we have the results. If you do end up being a likely donor, we'll definitely ask if you'd be open to being put on the universal donor list. If it's inconclusive, you can certainly retest at any point. If it comes back as unlikely, it means that there's been a clotting reaction that's a little concerning. It doesn't mean that means you would never be a candidate in the future, but normally we need to wait a while before retesting.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Any questions for us or anything else we can do for you?
No, that's it.
All right. Please rest up, and if there is anything we can do, please just let us know. We'll be with you as soon as possible.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it.
Should I just? I can send a tip in regarding.
Yeah, you can
the
send a
phone?
tip
Yeah,
in
just
about
so-
it.
I'll probably just take it down so it's not actively here.
No,
but,
don't take it down. Because
Okay, understood.
we'll
Just
leave
can
it, I
potentially
suppose.
grab fingerprints off
Yes.
of it.
understood.
Yep,
Okay,
very
got
true.
it. Then, yep, I won't touch it, and I'll put a bulletin in. Just make sure people leave it until Law's been able to deal with it.
Fact. Yeah, send a tip in.
Okay.
Yep. I would do it myself, but
Yeah, no
I
problem.
have
We'll get that in right away.
Perfect. Yeah, just let me know you've got a strange letter in the medical office, and they can probably get fingerprints off of it. So
Specifically on the scale.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, I mentioned that.
Will
You
do.
can mention the details of what it says, just a brief description. We'll know what you're talking about.
Okay. Will do. I copied it down, so I'll be able to get it over into our notes too.
Sounds good to me.
All right. We'll rest up and
Fantastic.
let us know if you need anything. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Appreciate it. Have a good one. Stay safe.
Of course. You as well, Deputy.
All right. Let's just see. What else we can do.
Handle that real quick and then do the other 2 blood tests.
Yeah, we could head down to Saint Denis and then just do the test there. That way we can kind of load them right in.
Oh, yeah. Very true.
All right. Do you prefer wagon or horses?
It's not particularly matter to me.
All right. Let's we'll grab a wagon, head down to telegram office and the tip in, and can kind of go from there.
Sure.
All right. Loop around the outside.
That way we don't forget to lock the door again.
That is, yes. It was locked. One of those things.
We let's see, Wednesday, Veronica and I, when we came back to Valentine, one of the doors was open. So
Honestly, I forget if it was here or Saint Denis. It's been a blur. Where the lock was just broken. It just wasn't working. So we had to call in a locksmith fixed.
that was here. Fletcher told me the door was
right.
knackered.
It's a technical term. Yep.
Yep. Very, very British, I think.
Do you know what the slang g means?
I'm sorry, did you say "g"?
A bog.
Oh, no, I do not.
Toilet, which I thought if somebody said that they were going to the bog, they were going to Lemoyne, but apparently, no.
Sure.
All right. Just send that in really quick.
Yep. Hmm. That's right.
You want to take the lead?
I mean, I can.
Here we go. I don't want to have to earn a vest.
You're gonna make me do it, huh?
No, this is you're just showing off skills so I can learn from them. I mean, not hitting things.
Well, I'll do my best. All we can do, right?
Exactly. Did that symbol on that that letter make any sense to you?
With all the lines? Not
Yeah,
particularly, no.
I'm trying to figure out what it was supposed to be, or it's just
Maybe it's a collection of bones or something. I don't know. Looks like
Maybe.
somebody hit a button on a typewriter a few many times and they got stuck.
yeah. I mean, that was my initial thought too. Just wondering what they were going for. Interesting. I don't know. I was in Guarma. Did I tell you about the weird large skeleton I found?
No. No.
So I had to bring other people to make sure I wasn't crazy. But it was a skeleton that, I mean, I would estimate was maybe like 10, 12 feet tall. Humanoid. I mean, looked human. Just huge.
Uh-huh.
On a cliff face, kind of overlooking the water there. And somebody told me that there's a similar one. I don't know if it's on top of Mount Hagen or Mount Chen, but
Could have been the Grizzlies. You mean?
I guess, but it's just something where that's the only thing that I would ever really associate potentially with a bone god.
Yeah, there'd be a little
weird,
yeah,
large skeleton. Doesn't make any sense to me, but maybe it's just Valentine being Valentine, though. I don't know.
It's certainly possible. But no, not anything I've ever seen before. Not heard of either.
Not sure. Well, if there's ever an outing to Guarma, I could show you where the one is. At some point I'm going to go do some exploring and see if I can find the set that's apparently up on top of one of the mountains.
Sure. Probably an area you want to be careful going hunting in.
True.
Probably some wolves up that way.
Yeah, I was out near Pronghorn and I ran into a group of, I think I counted 11.
Wow.
It was the largest pack I've seen. And I'm hoping that does not get repeated.
Oh, certainly not. I know there's just various places you got to be careful of certain animals.
Yeah,
Annisburg has a tendency to attract cougars. Well, even north of that, up toward what's it, Roanoke?
There's a good amount up in that area.
There are, yep. I spent probably 6 hours unconscious, I think, out on up near the Strange Hut, up on top of one of those mountains.
Oh.
I was making a delivery and made it and turned around and got jumped by a cougar. Who didn't do much to me, just kind of knocked me down.
Oh, that's fortunate.
Landed,
but still enough.
Landed hard enough that I was unconscious for a while, good while.
Yeah, I've I think run into that one 2 or 3 times, and
yeah, there's a whole den up there, I think.
Yeah. And then if you go a little west of that, there's a field of flowers. I figured maybe they'd be a little territorial. There wouldn't be that many, and ran into one right over there.
Oh my.
I gotta be. I've done some deliveries up there of coal, and I always forget because I'm riding on the wagon when I'm heading up there. I'm like, oh, this is fine. And then the moment I get off,
yep, there they come.
I get a little too bold.
There's the thing's not making noise anymore.
That's why we need to make sure that the wagons are rattling at all times, potentially by bumping into things, to make sure that
you just want to justify the turn the vest into a badge of honor rather than something else.
It's a hero sacrifice. That's what it is.
When you put it that way. And of course, now we're in the.
I need to lay the groundwork for that before I immediately start careening into things and end up needing to wear it for bronze period.
Right. That or you just practice with a wagon.
I suppose that is something one could do.
It's certainly less fun, but
it is. No, it is something I suppose should be done more. Has anything been openly, blatantly robbed? No.
Well, I'm curious to see if we can find maybe another one of those things, or if it's just Valentine being Valentine.
Take that as a no.
No, it doesn't seem to be. I take it Dr. Fletcher's surgery must have gone well.
Hopefully. We'll come back to the paperwork in a bit. So I generally will kind of leave the sample on the counter here. Occasionally I've seen some people like to put it kind of over here in the cabinet, but either one tends to work well. But if it was something where you wanted to put in a new test, I'm happy to take a sample if you want to have a seat.
Sure, we can do that. Do I need to leave like a note or something that says that it's left, or all right?
Nope. So you can just kind of set it there, and then it'll all be in the paperwork that I'll file for it. So nothing we have to kind of necessarily leave out other than just making sure the samples get here. And then if it's something where we're kind of over in Strawberry or Blackwater, you can actually just take it down to the docks. There's a little crate that you can set it in that they'll take it over via boat.
Oh, all right. Very good.
Actually, just wash my hands. Do you have a preference for either arm?
Nope, not particularly.
Okay.
Use them about the same now.
Perfect. So a series of very important questions.
I have not drunk alcohol today, or not even yesterday. Have eaten today. No history of disease.
Perfect. Any injuries within the last week? Any medications you've needed to take over the past week?
None whatsoever.
And current occupation?
Trainee with the SCDH.
Perfect. Some people put in some very interesting chains of elements there, so I was curious.
Sure.
And are you... I'm sorry, I forget. Were you staying out in Tumbleweed or?
Yeah,
were you,
technically New Austin, I think.
Okay.
I may move that at some point, but for now it's cheaper than anywhere else.
Yeah. I know Mason's hoping to kind of work on a project where we're hoping to get some extra medical supplies out there, so they'll be on hand, and hopefully we can have a little bit of a better presence out that way.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure they'd appreciate it.
Perfect. All right. Let's take a look here. Perfect. Good job drinking water.
Gotta stay hydrated out here. Oh, I should have done the gauze. I forgot about the gauze.
2, 1.
Yep.
Perfect. All right, and if you don't mind just holding pressure there for just a second, we'll transfer this over to a vial. Perfect, and we'll just get that wrapped. All right, so we'll get that. I'll get the paperwork done for that in just a little bit. Do you mind taking a sample for me?
Not at all. We can just swap places. You actually give me that? Okay. Okay. All right. Same series of questions to you, I suppose.
That is fair. Doctor with the SCDH. No injuries in the last week. No medications taken in the past week. Have eaten today. Have not had alcohol. No family history of disease. Is Strawberry New Hanover?
Let's see. I'll just consult this real quick. Strawberry is technically West Elizabeth.
Okay, well, I guess I live in West Elizabeth now. I'm still getting used to that. I'm still not used to being not on roads.
Right. Strawberry's nice, I suppose.
It's much more crowded than I expected, but it is nice. I do like it there.
You got a preference, left or right?
We can go left.
Pretty simple. Just tie this on here, and then here we are.
Yep.
And it'll be a quick pinch, just the same way.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna do the high one. Yep. All right. And pop some gauze on there. And there we go.
Perfect. All done. Barely felt a thing.
Very good. And I suppose we should give you this back.
You can keep it if you'd like.
I mean...
Fine working today.
Huh? Appreciate it. It's very nice working with you, as usual.
Yep. I'm not entirely sure of my availability tomorrow, but I'm hoping to make one of the classes, so I will.
Well, hopefully I'll see you.
That. But otherwise, I'll just get a little bit of paperwork wrapped up, and then I'll probably be laying my head down.
Yep, I will be doing the same. Well, minus the paperwork.
Yeah, that's fair. One day, soon.
Yep, indeed.
But if anything comes up, just let me know if I can help with anything. You can always just shoot me a telegram, or if you see me, just feel free to yell.
Will do. All right, and now, did you lock this behind you?
I did. So
yes,
hang on.
It does seem you did.
There you go.
All right.
All right.
Have a good evening, Doc.
You too. You're welcome to take the wagon if you want. Either whether that's down to stables or back home. No pressure on that front.
Not to worry. Not to worry.
Or if you've got a horse nearby, I'll just get the locals to put the wagon out.
Yep, that'll be good enough.
Okay, can do. Alrighty, ride safe.
Thank you. This will be the tricky bit, because I'm not going to ride anywhere. I'm probably just going to chill on the bench. Thanks, friends. I'm going to go ahead and log off, because it's been 6 hours. And tomorrow's going to be a long one once we actually start doing stuff. Take care. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.